Hello, good evening, welcome back. This is Alex. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer at ECLUBTRADING Limited. Before we begin to look at the charts, please read our disclaimer on YouTube. And please note that this video is just for educational purposes. Okay, so what happened in the markets today? We have a new all-time high in the SPYs at 425.55. The SPYs were stronger throughout the day compared with the other sectors. The main news of the day was President Biden managing to find a compromise between the Democrats and the Republicans and managing to finally sign the infrastructure bill. Okay, it's going to take a few more days to actually get all the details out of that deal, but he said vehemently that a deal has been made. So this obviously is helping a lot and is helping the market push higher. At this point though, as you can see, we are quite extended from the 8-day. For tomorrow, since I told you before yesterday, we have the rebalance of some of the indices, the 8-day is all the way down to 422. So how do we protect our profits? Well, we decided that first of all, we would trim some of the names that worked very well for us in the past 2-3 weeks, since we had a huge run from the double bottom here. Let me show you. Double bottom around 404, 405, all the way up to 425. So first of all, you trim, and second of all, if the charts still look good, what you can do, you can put on some hedges. So we have a hedge for the SPY, and we have a hedge also for the tech sector, the Qs. Okay, let's move on to the tech sector. What did tech do today? New all-time high, 351.46, but as was the case throughout this year, early strength was sold. So we hit the high early in the morning and then we drifted lower throughout the day. There is some talk again about the infrastructure deal because it was signed. How is the president going to afford to make it? So again, probably more taxes for the big tech companies. So obviously tech, the initial reaction of the market was to sell tech. All in all, we are still trending above the 8 and 21 day, the red line and the black line. So you know by now what this means. It means that we have momentum and that we can go higher. Like I said before, we are a bit extended in this case as well. The 8-day now is at 345. So tomorrow we might have a bit of a digestion, even maybe a bit of a down day. We shall see. Let's see what the big tech stocks did today. Let's look at Apple. Apple didn't have the best of days today. Was already extended from this candle here as it pushed above 132.80, which was a big level. It digested the next day, and today it held what it was supposed to hold. So it held this line, actually a bit above it, and now the moving averages are catching up to it again. Actually, in order to keep our profits in this name, we exited our position at 134. We actually day traded a lot this name, so we made some nice profits during the day when it was trading higher. And we exited the position once it broke below 134. We are still long some calls and we would look to buy a dip closer to the 8-day. As I told you before, the next big level is 134.80. So if Apple is strong enough and if momentum continues in tech, it needs to break 100. It needs to go above 134.80 in order for it to reach the next target, which is 137. One of the weakest tech stocks today was Amazon. There was some news about unionizing their workforce and also some estimates for their Prime Day event, which occurred this week. Bank of America estimates that this year's Prime Day compared to last year's is not so impressive, which we all expected. But as you know, when such news hits the market, the reaction is quite strong. So it's a very ugly candle for Amazon. But how did technical analysis help us in this situation? We told you yesterday that the most important level for Amazon is 34.35. If you go and look at the 1-day, I'm not going to go into details now, but if you are passionate about this, you can go to the 1-day chart. You can go to the hourly after, and you will see that this level 34.35 held throughout the day. It just went a bit below it and actually closed above it. So this was an important level, and Amazon held where it was supposed to hold. So all in all, it is still right at the 8-day. It's looking a bit more vulnerable, but most dips have been viable. So even throughout the day, if you bought around this level, you could have made a nice profit and sell, and then do it as many times as you like. Moving on. Google. Google had another inside day after the doji from yesterday. Nothing special for Google. Stopped close to its all-time high. It's still trending above the 8-day. Everything is looking good for Google at the moment. It seems like some momentum has been lost because it is still struggling to make new highs. It made one yesterday, but it looks as if some momentum has been lost in this name for now, as most tech stocks look at the moment. They had a huge run. If you go back 1-2 weeks, you will see they all had a huge run from the bottom in May. Moving on to Facebook. Facebook was one of the better tech stocks today. It made a new high at 344.90. It is trading very well above the 8 and 21 moving averages. The low was 341, so you know that for tomorrow this is your pivot support with the pivot resistance at the all-time high. For me it looks a bit extended, and if tech will be sold tomorrow with the rebalance of the indices, I think we can see the 8-day touched at some point during the day tomorrow. But this is for analysts, not for us. We're just reading charts here. Moving on, Microsoft. Microsoft today unveiled their new Windows 11. They said last year they're not gonna upgrade anymore. I mean, they're gonna upgrade Windows 10, but not make a new operating system. And the main theme of Nadella's, the CEOs, was that they are offering now customers an open platform, and basically they hinted at Apple, and they are saying that now Microsoft is actually helping third parties, unlike Apple, which is cutting a very nice profit for themselves. So what happened? It was again a sell the news event. Went as high as 267.85 and then drifted a bit lower. It's still trending very well. It is above the 8 and 21 days. It's a bit extended, and I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we go back to the 8-day, or if it rests here for a bit and then makes a new high. But all in all, usually such events, it had a nice run into the event. We knew about the event, that it's gonna happen tomorrow. So usually such events are a sell the news type of place. Now let's move to some of our winners. Remember Tesla? Well, what did we say about Tesla? We said yesterday, if Tesla, in our game plan, if Tesla manages to get above 631